Okay, I think we're live. Hello!
Hi, everyone.
We're here. We are at the home of the famous Starlette.
Starlette.
Oh my gosh,
Oh my
Starlette.
goodness.
Here we are. We made it all the way.
I'm honored. I am.
All the way to Nebraska. So I don't know that there's ever been a show that we've been more excited to do than
I
this
was
one.
excited.
We came all the way from Utah to Nebraska, the beautiful country out here, so that we could come together. It looks like people are on, so let me pull up the video here on the laptop so we can get started, and we'll answer a few questions. Starlette, I bet there are many people that just want to say hello to you.
And Starlette is just amazing in person as she is online. She is so fun, and her house, no joke, is filled with vanilla in every corner. And we're not joking, every corner. Her grandson was showing me, oh, and this, and don't forget this one over here.
And they sit out all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what does your husband call the room in the basement?
He calls it the hidey hole. My grandson calls it the rabbit hole. I call it the vanilla room. So it has a lot. I disappear a lot in there.
Well, thank you for letting us come.
Well, I'm glad you guys. I'm glad I got to meet you. I mean, I see you in here and I talk to you a lot, but yeah, it's kind of nice to put the face and voices together.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So we met Starlette virtually in October of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And so COVID was happening at the time, and it's kind of been our dream, like as soon as COVID went away, to actually start getting out and meeting all of you. And this is now our second live at on-site in someone's home. Jeanette, if you're watching, our very first.
Yep.
She was absolutely an amazing hostess about a month ago.
Yeah, one of our neighbors.
She's one of our
right
neighbors.
There in Utah.
Yeah.
Just an hour and a half up the street, and so that was so much fun. And then we knew as soon as we started doing this, you know, the first time that we actually load up, drive, travel, we're going to go see Starlette.
There you go. I'm
There
glad
has
you guys got
just
here.
been no question that Starlette was where we needed to come first. So as we hit the roads, here we are. So I want to introduce all of you to Starlette. You all know who she is, right? That you have talked to her virtually. Here's the reason that I know that you know who Starlette is. Starlette, I don't know that you know this. In the last 90 days in our group, Starlette has made 29 posts. So that's like a post every 3 days.
Not a
I
comment.
had no idea.
But
So-
not a comment.
No.
A post.
That's a post. That's a full-on post. So that's like every 3 days a post. So that's a lot. So you think that that's a lot? Let me give you stat number 2. In the last 90 days, Starlette has made 3,472 comments.
No way.
Yes.
No way. I know I read them all. I read every one of them.
She does. She does.
I do.
So you,
I had no idea.
yes, you do.
I know I do talk a lot, but I had no idea.
You're
I thought,
just- And then in the last 90 days, you think that's a lot. In the last 90 days, Starlette has given a post reaction where it's like a thumbs up or a heart or a care or a love, whatever, 9,283 times.
I love vanilla. I'm sorry. And I love interacting with everybody who loves vanilla too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
And they
Kinda
love
nice.
you.
Oh, thank you.
And
I love
our
them.
group is always talking about, thank you, Starlette.
I know. You
Where's
know, sometimes I
Starlette's
cry
recipe?
because I feel so honored because people trust the fact that, you know, I'm going to give them the right information. And I wish there was me. I tell everybody, I wish there was me when I started because I wouldn't have waited 3 years. Someone said, stick these in booze. I said, okay. I put them in booze, and the next thing you know, 3 years later, I'm finding them, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I don't know what's
seriously.
so great about homemade vanilla, but okay.
Yeah. No, we feel the exact same way. We made the same mistakes. Our first vanilla, we didn't
Yeah, it
have
was
the right
like,
number
so I
of
went out
beans.
and bought some. I'm like,
Right.
well, I don't know.
And they didn't turn out great, and then you wait a whole year, and so we wish there was a you all the way back in 2016.
I know. It's like, I
Yes.
wish it wasn't me when I started. But,
So-
you know, I got back on track and, you know, just going out there and trying to figure it out. And I said, you know, if these beans cost so much money, then there has to be more to it than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just like saffron and some of the
Yes.
other things. There has to be more to it. You
Yeah.
know, and then once you start reading and you start talking to people and you know you start experimenting, it's like wow, you know you can open up your vanilla and just say, wow, this is like the most incredible scent and fragrance, and once you start tasting it, the taste is just incredible that you can't get that anywhere.
You can't get that
You
with any
cannot
other
get it-
spice
no,
and that kind of
absolutely,
diversity.
no, you can't. So they're very, they're great, they're intriguing
Yeah.
to me. They're very intriguing because they're all different, you know.
So,
You're very intriguing.
Oh,
yes, you are.
Thank you. Thank
She
you.
has experiments going all over the house. She's got
I do.
experiments for beans. She's got experiments for spirits. She's got it for light and dark and bottles and oh my
If
goodness.
someone has asked a question or someone wanted to know something, you better believe I probably have it duplicated here so I can come back and say, well, my experience with this is what's happening. So they can take it for what, you know, and run with it and know the fact that I'm giving them right information because I have that right here with me.
You actually
You
have
know,
done it.
I've done it, you
Yeah.
know, I don't want to sit and brag about something, hey, you got to do it my way and not really do it that way. So
Which
it's
is amazing.
important that, you know, you do it first and then you can say, hey, you know, you can do it this way or you can choose to do it your way. I can tell you this is tried and true,
yeah, because you've done it.
tried and true.
Or you can be like Starlette and experiment yourself, right?
And have
And
fun.
try
And try everything. When they say you can't put it in, as long as it doesn't have artificial flavors or stuff. In fact, I probably have beans in artificial flavor too. I got them in peanut butter. Oh, you know, I've got them in everything. Try a little bottle, and if you like it, then stick it in a whole bottle. And if you don't like it, then don't do it.
And you haven't wasted very much.
I haven't
because
wait.
it's
I
all
use it. I use it all.
She's gonna show us some little bottles here.
She's gonna, well, I can't move the camera just yet, but here's what we are gonna do though, Starlette. So at the end of this show, as soon as we turn this off, sit tight, don't
We are
go
going-
anywhere.
We're
Because
going to. I have to say it.
No,
I'm
you
gonna
say it.
interrupt you.
you say it,
We're going to the hidey hole.
the hidey ho. We're going to have an encore show about 1 or 2 minutes when this ends, so just sit tight. Then we're gonna turn on another one. We're gonna go down into the hidey ho.
The hidey ho.
And we're going to let Starlette give all of you a tour of her vanilla room so you can get an idea of experiments and the way that you do what you do.
Yeah.
So when Starlette's giving advice, it is because you know,
I know,
because
yeah,
you've done
I know.
it. And that's, so you talk about 3,472 comments, 29 posts,
No idea.
9,000 post reactions, all of that just in 90 days. That's, I mean, I don't have the number if we went all the way back, but for 2 years, you take these numbers and multiply them by 6 or 7.
I'm sure it's probably up there.
It's up there. So that's why you all know Starlette, because Starlette has such a big impact on our community, who we are as a group. As I told Starlette early on, your fingerprints are all over this. And we are just so glad that you're
Yeah,
part of our family.
I'm glad to be here. It's been
Yeah.
an interesting, almost 2 years.
Almost
Coming
2
up
years.
September's 2 years. It's been interesting.
Yeah.
I've learned so much. Everybody's like, oh, you teach me. I've learned so much just by going through, because everybody has their own way of doing things. You know, even with non-vanilla extracting, someone will say, oh yeah, well I put a tablespoon of sugar in this. I'm like,
That's interesting.
that's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll take some of my sugar beans out and throw them in some alcohol. So I mean, you know, you learn.
You
I do
learn.
that. You do
Yeah.
that. Yes, indeed.
So let's see here. We've got free beans to Starlette, says Roxanne. Oh yes, we have free beans for Starlette. So we've got so much to say, and we want to let Starlette just kind of go, and we're going to follow her lead on a lot of things. We're going to have a lot of fun, but there's a few things that we're going to do today. One, just a quick update on our group. We want to recognize our top 10 contributors, because we got to make sure everybody gets their free beans. We are going to make just one extract with Starlette, and we're going to do it pretty quickly, almost because we don't want to take up any time. We want this to be the Starlette show.
But we also want, if you're new and you're just joining us, we want you to know how basic it can be. We always start with a very basic extract, and then we go into other things. So if you want to have a great teacher,
Starlette. So we're always going to, every show begins making an extract, and even a very simple one, because we have, of all the people that are watching, half of them might be brand new. So we always begin by making an extract. Plus, it never gets old.
It never gets
It's
old.
so
You
fun
know, you can
making an
use the
extract.
same beans every time, and every time it's different.
Yep.
Every time it's just
So
wonderful.
the
It's
theme,
exciting.
the theme of our show today with Starlette was Made in the USA.
Made in the USA.
So we brought bourbon from Salt Lake City, Sugar House Bourbon. It's a wonderful local bourbon in Salt Lake City that we brought with us. And then we brought Hawaiian vanilla beans, grown in the USA.
Oh, they smell wonderful.
Aren't they wonderful?
Oh my gosh.
And so that's our theme for the extract that we're going to make. And then a quick update, just to let you know, as we always do, I'm going to go really fast here. In our last live at Jeanette's house, we had 69,000 group members and 108,000 followers. As of right now, we have 72,000 group members and 117,000 followers on our Facebook
my
page,
goodness.
which is just crazy. So thanks to all of you,
Yes.
to the Starlettes,
Yes.
to all of our group experts, to all of our group members for sharing our group and for helping us grow. People like it here because we're nice, because you can be a new person and ask what they call stupid questions, but they're the same questions we all had, and because everybody's treated with a lot of respect in our group. And we're sweet.
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
We are. Everybody's sweet. We
Sweet
try to
as
be
vanilla
sweet.
beans,
Yeah,
right?
we're sweeter than vanilla.
Sweeter than vanilla beans. So, quick item number 2 is we wanted to give a shout out and a big thank you to all of our group experts. We always recognize them. You'll see the badge next to most of their names. Sometimes there's these glitches and the badge doesn't show up. But Alan Clabo, Debbie Perry Thomas, Lori Lanford, Michelle Pagetta, Michelle, hello, I hope you're well, Jeff Sewell, Ruth Ann, Cape and Batten, and of course our very first expert and our group moderator, Starlette.
Our star, your name is so fitting.
I know, I
Your
love
name
it.
is very fitting.
I remember you say, I just love your name.
I do, I still do.
We do. So we want to recognize our group experts. To become a group expert, you've got to be nominated for Free Beans for Kind Words at least once. You've got to be a member of our group for at least a year. So you've kind of been here for a while, and we know that you're an expert and that you've made some great posts. And then you've got to be a top 10 contributor at least once. And so every group expert that you're getting advice from is someone that meets that criteria. The group expert program is a 6-month term. We will be next month announcing our new group experts that will be beginning in September. And so we will have anywhere from 6 to 12 group experts. We might go all the way up to 12. And we'll give all of our existing group experts a chance to catch their breath. They can come back and be group experts again if that sounds fun to them. But we're going to get new people in so we can get new faces to be able to help and give advice within the group, right? In addition, we wanted to, we'll get to that just in a little bit later.
Yeah.
We've got some ideas on what we want to do for our group experts that are no longer going to be experts. We have a new program that we'll be introducing, and we'll do it a little later in the show, and we'll let you know what that is for all of our group experts that are going away. Sound good? Well, they're not going away. They're still in our group. You'll still hear from them. They just won't have the
I
badge.
wouldn't know what to do without them.
We wouldn't know what to do without them.
I'm
None of
serious.
us would.
They're my eyes and ears.
Okay, so that's the business section, right? So each group expert, of course, is given $175 in Vanilla Pure gift cards during their time. So look to hear from us. All of the seasoned members of our group will be reaching out to 6 to 12 of you in the next 30 days to see if you're interested in participating in our group expert program. And then we'll talk a little bit later about our next program for the group experts that are going away.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
let's get started. Let's get started.
listening.
Let's get started. Here we go. So, first thing we're going to do, we've got Hawaiian vanilla beans, and we are going to make our very first extract ever with Starlette.
Yep.
We will be using our brand new jar
Look
that we
at
just
this.
rolled out. That's the
Look how
Avera.
sweet this is.
Isn't
This
that
is
fun?
beautiful.
So that's the Avera jar. It's a little more than 16 ounces.
Really nice top.
It's all
Don't have
glass.
to worry about it degrading.
It's a fun jar, right? And so we'll leave this. We like to make extracts when we come to your home, and then we'll have a little label we'll put on it with our name, and then it's our little parting gift to Starlette, along with a few other things.
There
So
we go.
with that being said, I'm going to just shut up.
Yeah, you
How does
tell
that
us.
sound?
You tell
We're
us
gonna-
what you like to do here.
Alrighty, we are going to, this is 16 ounces, so I'm putting 2 ounces of Hawaiian beans in it. I'm a tipper, so I cut off my tips, all the tips, and I put them in what I call a calming jar, which you can use it for anything.
Oh, can I smell it again?
If you need some for
Oh.
sugars, you can grind it, you can
Yeah.
put them in anything. I just
So-
toss them into
So
that.
tipping is something
Why
that
do you-
that people just started talking about.
Yeah, why do you tip?
You know, I find when you tip, believe it or not, the extract turns darker, quicker.
Interesting.
And I don't know it's because there's a lot of concentration in the tips.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm not sure how, I'm assuming that they grow this way.
They do.
The tips, a lot of oils because
Yeah.
they're up, growing.
Right?
I don't know how significant the top is, but I know when you put them in, I mean, you can see some of the, now this is all tips, this
So
is
we wanted
my,
to show this, yeah.
yeah, this is Adi. Now I take all the tips from all the beans that I don't put in my calming jar, and all the alcohol that I use that's dispersed from using it, I put that in here also. So that's kind of got big, but you can see
Let me see this
how
here.
dark.
So this is the Audi, and this is only made of tips.
It's only made of tips.
So
And the
it's
first
kind of-
tips went in how long ago?
Probably 6 months ago.
Just 6 months ago. I'm
Just
going to
6
kind of
months
pull
ago.
this up, and we've got that daylight behind just to see if I can show you any daylight.
And it's
You can't
it's
see
probably that much.
maybe
It's a lot of tips.
down lower. There's
But
a
it-
little bit, but you see how dark that
Well,
is
you can home.
with extracts made from tips.
They're
And then
incredible.
when you look at the number of beans that Starlette has
That's just
managed,
one.
this is her jar right now of dried tips.
Just one of the jars.
That's just one.
This is
Just one.
that's just one of her jars of dried tips. I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds of dried tips.
But
in
I
there.
use these for different things. You know, a lot of times, you know, if I just need a little bit of sugar to
Yeah.
grind, I'll just grab a couple of these and just toss in with the sugar and you can grind it. So I don't just use it for smelling. But it is kind of nice. I keep the lid off so you don't have this. I don't put a seal on it.
Okay.
So that way it doesn't, no mold will get into it because
Yeah.
there's
No
no
mold.
condensation or
Still
anything.
have some-
There's
But
like
you
air
can lift it
circulation.
up
Yeah.
And smell. I call her Flo. My grandmother's name was Florence. They call her.
So do all of your jars have different names?
They all have different names.
So this is Flo. This is Audi.
Audi. I
Audie's
got all.
like a mother jar.
I got two
right?
hands. Well, my mother jar, this is my sister jar. This is two hands. Now, two hands has a lot of different beans. Every has two of each of the beans that I've worked with over the course of the last 10 years. Whatever,
Right.
several 10 years. It
Yeah.
has two of each of the beans.
Amazing.
So I call it two hands. So this is I call a sister jar.
Of course, because it can't be the mother jar.
So I'm gonna hold this up. So this is the
This
sister
is my
jar
mother jar. This was my grandmother's.
called
jar.
two hands because there's two of every kind of bean
There's
that
two.
we sell in
Mhm.
here.
So I always
Okay.
grab it with two hands, and this is the mother jar.
Two
This
beans.
was my original jar. That's what started out my original
Oh
jar.
my
And that was
heavens.
her
That
grandmother's.
was my grandmother's jar.
This was
so.
your grandmother's jar. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. No
So,
kidding.
yeah, most of my antiquers.
Let me see if
I don't
can
know, I
open it. It's gonna
read
be crystal.
this in there.
Oh, do you want me to open it? or
No,
not?
you can open
I
it. It's probably a little boozy because I changed and
You just
added a
changed
little
it?
bit.
Well, let's see.
A couple months ago.
We do that all the
Oh,
time, right?
Can
are
you smell
kidding? There is some. You get a little bit of the booze, but it's this is what we love about
Oh,
vanilla
yeah, I
extract
haven't opened it in
making.
a while. You can see the
Yeah,
pillows across the top.
but no two jars are ever the same.
No,
Ever
this
the
one.
same. I mean, even when you buy beans from the same place, like the Hawaiian beans, the climate might be different next year than it was this year, and so you can get these different tastes. What do we have here?
That's what's in there.
That's
She
what's in
has
this
a 3x5 note card of every bean that's in her mother jar, and wow.
Tahitian, Sri Lanka,
Oh, you
Ecuadorian,
name 'em.
Indonesian, Madagascar bee,
Hawaiian.
Hawaiian,
I've been
Papua
doing
New
it, yeah.
Guinea, Mexican, Zimbabwe, Sumatra, Uganda, Jayapura, all of them.
Spice crumbs.
Isn't
Wow.
that
They're
amazing?
LeBron, yeah, just so it's a difference. And they're all different. And I think they're all flavors different. And
Yeah.
I use them in both savory and sweet. So
Well, we love all your jars, and we love how you've named your big jars. You know, the two hands, the ollie.
this, yeah,
It's so much fun.
this
You're
is
actually
Ollie.
using-
This
that's
is
Ollie.
yeah, that's what her name is, Ollie.
And then your grandma's
Ollie.
jar for the mother jar.
They're
Again,
kind of cool.
yeah. Everybody
Thanks.
says, "What's so big about extracting? You're just putting beans and booze."
No, you're not.
No,
you
you're
know
not.
what? Once you start smelling them and you shake them and they're like your family. I mean, I go down in my room and there's like, oh, look, I'll go ahead and shake this one up a little bit, you know. So yeah, so it's kind of fun and it's kind of relaxing for me.
It
You know,
is.
you do a lot of work. We're up early. You know, we got the farm to take care of, the vegetables and the gardens, and this is my me time. You know, I go downstairs. My grandson comes down, and we sit there and we snip bean tips. So getting back to it, I'm
Yep.
a tipper. So and not everybody does this, and it probably doesn't make any sense to do it. I like doing it, so I do it. I remove just the very tip of each of the vanilla beans.
So just right where they bend at the top.
Right as they bend,
she's just
just a
cutting
very
the tips
little.
off.
Just a
very
very,
little.
very, very little.
And it's okay because they say, well, you need an ounce. You need a little less than an ounce for your 8 ounces. So these aren't really going to matter that much.
And I'm going to give them a close-up here.
Mhm.
The camera's fixed so we can't, but if you look here, she's not cutting away the whole curve of the top.
Just very little.
She's just cutting away the tip, kind of like the end of the curve.
Really?
And so there's still a little bend on each one of those.
Yep.
And
And
then
then
it just
I just-
releases some flavor.
Yep.
That's amazing.
And then I just take them and toss them into,
Put them in your tip jar. Put them in
Tip
slow.
jar. just throw them in there, give them a shake so they kind of
Mix in with all the
mix
others.
in with them. And then
Oh, wow.
I like to split my beans. I know I always wind up putting 1 or 2 of them in there that I don't split just
Uh-huh.
in case I ever need it.
But you're a
I
splitter.
I'm a splitter. I think if you look at the 3 that I have in there,
Uh-huh.
that has the whole, I don't know if you saw it, it has the whole, the split and the
Uh-huh.
chopped.
Mhm.
The split one is clearly, as far as color goes, I don't know about taste because I haven't tasted them, clearly is darker than the other two.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a difference in how you do it. And
You use scissors.
I use scissors,
Just going right
And
down
I
the
just-
middle, all the way up.
pop them in, and then I usually wind up just cutting them in half.
I do
Just
that
'cause
too.
you're dropping
It's
them
just easier
Yeah,
to get.
and, well, I think if you cut them, you get more in the friction of them hitting together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helps the caviar, I don't know,
And it's a
maybe.
little easier to get them out.
I think so,
So
yeah.
the concept of splitting,
here.
the majority of the taste of the vanilla bean comes out of the pod
Out of-
itself.
Inside.
And so when you split it, not only can the alcohol now come in contact with the outside of the bean, but it can also come in contact with the inside of the pod. So it's double the surface area,
Brody usually does
which
this one.
allows for increased extraction. Starlette was just saying her grandson.
My
and
grandson.
by the way,
Yeah.
we're getting so many pictures of all of you with grandkids and children.
We love it.
Oh, we love
sisters
it.
and brothers, and you're all doing it together, and those are some of our favorite
It-
pictures.
And it's memories that you'll never be able to take away from them.
No.
You know, I was an apron string, I have to everybody, I was an apron string kid. I was always with my grandma. And right, you know, when she cooked and when she did all this stuff, I was right there with her. I made lemon, everybody's like, lemon. I made lemon extract when I was a little girl.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I don't know
With
what.
your grandma?
Yeah, with my grandma. I don't know what she used. That's why I was my grandma's place. I don't know what she used as an extractor because I was little, but I remember peeling the lemon. So,
No kidding.
you know, everybody's like, well, I don't know. I've been doing it a long time.
You've been doing it a long
I've been
time.
doing it a long time.
Well, and coming off of COVID, when we couldn't be all together, now, you know, it's so nice that we can just. Families
Absolutely.
are coming together again, and friends are coming together again.
Well, yeah, because
You know, it's
yeah, because there was
so
for a while.
nice.
Well, we were lucky because we live out here in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
cornfields and cows. So we didn't have to really worry.
Mhm.
You know, they didn't really shut us down only for the first couple months. So we were able to really live our lives out here.
Yeah.
We were cautious because we are older,
Mhm.
but you know, as far as, you know, staying home and doing stuff, we lived. We lived.
Yeah. Case.
Okay, there we go. Sometimes the internet can be spotty out here.
Okay. So we're cutting with the
Almost
scissors,
done. Mm-hmm.
which is wonderful. You put them halfway in, then
And
do a
then
cut, drop the
cut,
rest in.
And then these two I'm going to put in whole because if I ever need, I've never needed one, but I always tell myself if you don't drop two of them in there whole, you're going to want it.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Okay,
I
sound is
always-
back. It looks like. So we're good. We're back
if
up.
I can drop them in whole, I'll drop them in whole.
You'll drop them in
Yeah,
whole.
if the bottle's big enough,
If the
just
bottle,
go for
and
it.
if you know what, if something, and if it doesn't fit, then just.
You just
cut off
snip
a
a
little
little
bit.
bit of it. Yeah.
There's no right or wrong way of doing this.
Well, and if I'm giving it as a gift, I like to leave them. I like to leave some whole and some cut because the whole beans they're very pretty. It's a
they
nice
are-
presentation.
They are.
And then they get to use some of the caviar if they want.
Mhm,
Pull the
mhm.
beans
And that's-
out and then make whatever they want with that caviar.
Exactly, and that's what's nice when you use the alcohol bottles because you can drop all of them in
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
cutting if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the alcohol bottles are very nice sometimes.
Some of them are really nice. I
Really
use
fun
those.
ones.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
see
I use a
the
lot.
ocean vodka. A lot of people use.
I have the little ones. Yeah.
The skeleton one. There's a vodka out there with a skeleton face. They're fun. And even these whiskey bottles are nice.
Now I'm not even going to measure this. I'm just going to pour this
Yeah,
in
because you know
because
it's
I know this is 16 ounces.
Yep.
And I know there's going to be a little bit dispersed, so it's not really going to matter.
There you go.
So
So you lift the funnel a little because it forms
You
a
lift it,
suction.
yeah,
If you don't, right?
yeah.
It'll all bubble up. So
yeah,
hold
and
the
it'll
funnel
all
just a
go
little
everywhere
bit
if
up.
you don't. So you want to make sure that you get it in there. And the people that want to whip it and take a drink, you can do that too.
yeah.
I don't, but it's a good way to hide your addiction.
There you go. Oh, that looks beautiful.
There we
How
go.
pretty is that?
Oh,
With the
in that
bottle?
jar.
I don't have Hawaiians in bourbon.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't. So this is
Oh,
going
this will be wonderful.
This will be great.
The
This
Sugar
will be
House
great.
bourbon's really sweet.
Oh, it
and
smells
so,
wonderful.
yeah, it's got a very good honey.
Barbecue.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
that is.
Oh,
It's
wait,
not
I
pretty.
gotta smell.
Okay.
Wait.
That smells good.
Yeah.
It's
Normally we do vodka with the Hawaiian, but
I have the- I-
yeah, I think
We'll
this
see
is
how
gonna
the
be
flavor.
fun.
Yeah, we'll see how the flavor
Yeah.
overpowers the. Because I know they have, the Hawaiians have an earthy, deep earthy flavor. Once they extract all the way, I didn't like them at first.
Right.
But now that I've had them for a full year, they're wonderful.
They're wonderful.
They're really wonderful. They really are.
So we'll put the cap on it, and then we have a label we'll put on a little later, one of our labels, and we'll put our names on it, our date today, we'll sign
I
it.
love that.
I'm gonna do a close-up so everyone can see what it looks like. So those are Hawaiian vanilla beans in bourbon. You can still see through it, and come back in not a lot of time, and you won't even be able to see those beans in
You
there.
won't even be able to see them. No.
Yeah, so it's
Wonderful.
pretty rich, pretty quick.
Great.
So some people, that's why I'm thinking about it, we haven't mentioned this in our videos, but every now and then people will say there's slime. Like my beans have been sitting for like 3 weeks or a month, and there's like white slime or things on the outside. That's the good stuff, right?
That's the good stuff.
That's the
and
vanilla.
you know, it's amazing because the changes to the vanilla beans over the course of the year. Some of them you can't really see, but once you take your bottle and you tip it, and you can see some of the beans. Some of the beans have this white kind of jelly stuff coming out of it. And people are like, oh, my bean looks like alive in there. That's what you want out. That you know.
That's right.
But yeah, they do change a lot. They pop up, and you know,
Yep.
they just get wonderful.
And so if you see the slime, it goes away
It
usually
goes
by
away.
month 2 is what we've seen in our
Yeah,
experience.
these are pretty beans.
Yeah.
If you don't see anything on your bean before you put it in, I guarantee you're not going to get anything bad coming out of them.
No, but
Because
but you'll
and
see
you
the
get some
vanilla.
funky stuff, and the oils will start popping out. But
Yeah.
you know, other than that, you know, it's good to go.
Good to go. Now
Good to go.
now it's just time. Shake them occasionally if you want to shake them.
You want
but
to shake them?
you know, that's more just for fun than anything.
That's just, you know, some of them I do, some of them I don't. Some of them
Yeah.
I just leave sitting because when you first start, it's really cool to watch how it starts from the bottom and it goes and covers the whole entire. So I love watching.
Just
Process.
untouched.
Just change,
Just let it do its thing.
and then after it's done, and you can't see it anymore. That's when you shake it. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, you know, just let it do it.
That is awesome. So let's see if there's any questions. Just a lot of comments. Starlette, everyone's so excited to see you. Let's see. Bourbon from Paul and Jill. Yes. What kind of bourbon? It was Sugar House Bourbon from Salt Lake City. We
Yeah.
brought it with us. A little made in the USA. Can you squeeze the caviar out? Or can you use the whole beans and then the caviar is one of the questions. So where you've tipped it, how does that affect your use of caviar? Or where you split it, how does that affect your use of
Okay,
caviar?
so if you split it, you can still get caviar out because the caviar, all the caviar won't remove from the beans. It stays there. If you take and put whole ones in there, even with the tip off, it'll just draw in the alcohol a little better, a little
Okay.
quicker. And then when you split your bean, you can just squeeze. You don't even need to split it. You can just pull it and just squeeze
Squeeze
right
it out.
on down, and you have all that wonderful caviar.
Oh, wonder. That's what Laura said. Like toothpaste almost.
Yeah,
Just
you
squeeze
never.
it out.
Yeah, exactly. You'll always have caviar no matter what, because when you pull them beans out, even though when you split them, they still cover up
They'll
themselves.
still.
It's
kind of
like
come
they come in and they cover up the caviar
Yeah.
to protect them. It really does. So a lot of times I'll let it sit like 6 months, and then I'll go and I'll open them up, and then I'll take and bend them around my finger and kind of expose them out a lot. But you'll always have caviar in it.
Always have
With,
caviar.
with grade A.
With grade A, now
Yeah.
grade B is a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they are harder.
Much harder.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, and then someone did ask, and we'll end with this question: what is your favorite brand of vodka? There's a tough one. You have
You
so
know,
many.
I've been using right now the two most is Cooper's Chase. It's in Nebraska.
Oh,
I
Cooper's
love it.
Chase.
It's called Cooper's Chase. You can get it in a big bottle. It's not expensive. I also do a 420 extractor out of Colorado, and it's 190, and it blows Everclear away. It's just so
Really?
smooth, and
Okay.
the vanilla beans are just wonderful floating in it. I just do local now. I have
local,
platinum.
support
Yeah, so
local.
Yeah.
whatever you can afford.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to go out and spend $50 for a bottle of vodka, mid-shelf, whatever you can do. My best, believe it or not, the best vanilla I've ever made in my entire life
Now this is saying something.
Drum roll.
is Ugandan and Cheap Heroes vodka.
No
And
kidding.
I paid $5.95 for a fifth.
No kidding.
And I tell you what, this is the best in the world.
The Ugandan and
Ugandan
the no
and
kidding.
Cheap Heroes vodka.
Cheap
What?
Heroes vodka. And you have it in this beautiful maple leaf jar.
I know.
I
That's
love
the
it.
only thing I had at the time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's
that
oh,
smells
it's wonderful.
amazing.
We got it in here.
I mean, you
I
can
mean,
really
it's-
smell like the notes of the
it's
vodka, or
just-
the
yeah.
Uganda
It
come
just
through.
it was the
Like
most.
fruits.
Yeah, it was just
Lots of
incredible.
dried
It
fruit.
was incredible, and I'm so I can't find it anymore. I've been
Right.
looking everywhere I went.
It always
It's
works out that
It's
way.
made by veterans.
Okay, made by
And yeah,
veterans.
it's made by veterans. And I thought, well, it's $5 and some cents. I said, well, you know, I'll try it.
Sure.
I
You know,
love
what's the worst can happen? You get vanilla that you can use.
Sure.
I mean, put it in some cookies, you'll never get a difference.
That's right.
I love it. Well, we'll go ahead. And I think we answered some questions and we had a little interaction, which was nice. Let's jump ahead and announce our top 10 contributors really quick.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go to your cookies.
Taste
We've got a
testing.
taste test we'll talk about. And then we're going to talk about smoked beans. And then we're going to just talk about whatever Starlette wants to talk about. How does that sound?
Smoked beans.
There we go, smoked beans, is what we'll talk about. So, as everyone knows, we have every live that we do them about once a month. We announce our top 10 contributors for the last month. It's put together by Facebook, so we just grab the names. This is based on the number of comments that you make, based on the number of upvotes, based on the number of love that you get on your comments and your posts, people liking what you post. It automatically removes administrators and moderators.
Exactly.
And so that's why Starlette would certainly be on the top of the list as well with all of the posts that we talked
I am
about.
never offended that my name is not there, believe
Yep.
me.
But administrators and moderators are by Facebook, they're automatically removed from the list. So it's the top 10. And so let's go ahead and announce, we'll start from the bottom up. Our number 10 biggest contributor in the last 28 days is our very own Lori
Lori
Land.
There.
Landford.
Lori, congratulations.
Lori! You all know Lori. She's one of our group experts, and we just love her advice, and she's amazing.
Yes, she is.
Lori's-
Totally.
Yep. Number 9,
Krista Howard.
Krista Howard! Congratulations, Krista Howard. Number 8, from the other side of the pond, our very own Laura Ogden. Laura from Great Britain. It's like 10 o'clock at night there right now, right?
I know. She's like, you're up. Yeah, I don't ever
We
sleep.
love Laura on the other side of the pond. So Laura, you had a shipment already on its way. We went ahead and threw the extra beans in that shipment
Oh, there
already.
you go.
So they're already on the way to
All
you
right.
for being a top 10
Congratulations.
contributor. Let's see, where are we at? We're number 7 is
Roxanne Young.
Roxanne.
Yay.
We love Roxanne.
We
She's
do.
here today as well. So Roxanne, congratulations. Number 6, BJ Shaw.
Yay, BJ.
Yay, BJ. Number 5, our very own Kathy Donaldson.
We love you.
Yes, we do. Wholeheartedly. We love
We
Kathy.
do.
Been with our group for a long, long time
Yep.
and just is wonderful. Our number 4, Debbie.
Debbie Perry Thomas.
Debbie Perry Thomas, also one of
We
our
love you
experts.
too.
We love you, Debbie.
All them
Congratulations. Number 3,
And Bashan.
Ann Bouchon. Ann, congratulations. Ann's all over the group. We
Yes,
see her
she
as
is.
well.
All
Number
the
2, Diane.
Oh,
Diane.
Diane.
Teresa said to say hello, Diane. So we love you. More free
Teresa's in
beans.
our customer service. and
Yes.
They are good friends.
So more beans coming your way, Diane. And number 1, I hope she's here with us
I
today.
think she might be.
She might be.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Nancy, we love you.
We love you, Nancy.
Right.
We've got more free beans coming your way, and so we hope you enjoy. So 1 ounce of Madagascar beans on their way to all of our top 10 contributors. I think we've got all your information already, and so we'll make sure that those get out to you right away. Okay, next on the list, Starlette, in knowing that we were coming here, of course she was up probably until like 2 a.m. baking and
Oh, maybe.
doing all sorts of things. But she made cookies using different vanillas, correct?
Yes.
And these are, so the whole idea here is we've talked about taste testing vanillas in the past and how you put, your vanilla extract in milk or in whipped cream to do a quick taste test. And Starlette says, well, forget that. That's the old way. Let's just make
We got cookies.
Yes, we have cookies.
We
So,
have cookies.
You'll have to tell us, so don't tell us which is which,
I'm not going to tell you which one's which.
but what are the
Okay.
4 extracts that you use?
Okay, so the 4 extracts is, we have Brody this is his brother jar, and it's a
Oh.
Mexican Madagascar mix that he made last year.
He made
Okay.
He made it last
So
year. It's
Brody,
in a white whiskey.
your
Brody's the
grandson.
grandson. So we have one with those.
So Brody made a brother jar.
Yeah, we call it a brother. Yeah, we call it a brother.
Okay.
And then I have Sumatra Indonesian, has a couple other different Indonesians, and it's kind of like a mix.
Okay.
I love it. It's very rich, chocolatey.
Yeah.
If you use it in something that is mocha,
Okay.
chocolatey,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
wonderful. I also did an Ecuadorian in peach vodka.
Now that's a spinoff. Like we don't do a lot of artificial flavor vodkas, but this is one that
Vanilla just goes great with peach. I don't
Vanilla
care,
peach.
it just goes with peach. Peach
Yeah.
everything. So this is the New Amsterdam makes a peach vodka, so I have one in there, and then I have the Ugandan in the Cheap Heroes vodka.
I love it.
I
Your very
love it.
favorite.
It's like the best. It's the best. Okay,
So while you're getting those ready, one of the questions I know that we get a lot is, does it really matter because you're only putting a teaspoon of extract in your entire recipe? So
I
how
don't-
much does it change the taste? Well, what the answer is always, for anyone that wonders what the impact of vanilla is, make your next batch of cookies, and instead of a teaspoon of vanilla, add just a teaspoon of water and taste those cookies.
Yeah.
They're
Oh.
bad.
Well, we tasted the batter before,
Yeah.
put the vanilla in it, and then we tasted it after.
They
Oh,
can be
yeah.
salty,
It was just
bland,
it
the
was-
baking powder, I mean, all these other things come through. So the vanilla is sort of the medium that ties it all together. So vanilla has a big impact on flavor. So then, when you really get the vanilla and you have like 6 million jars in your basement, you really know what tastes good and what's better and what's best and how they change. And so she has set up this taste test for us so that we can taste the difference between extracts in each cookie.
Well, because you always refer to, the fragrance smells really good. Okay, so now it's time to taste it. Now,
Yes.
you can taste it in whipped cream, which, I recommend if you want to do like a quick taste in it. So you can taste it, but that gets old.
That gets
You
old.
we use raw cream. We get our milk right from the cow.
Do you really?
Yeah, we do.
Oh my gosh,
Milk
these are
and
going to be
cream.
wonderful.
Yeah, we're spoiled. We get our meat and everything.
So these cookies, they're all the recipes exactly the
Eggs
same.
from the farm.
Eggs
Yeah.
from the
Eggs
farm.
From the barn.
So everything's the same in every one of these recipes except.
What we did is
vanilla
we
extract.
created one recipe,
Uh-huh.
no extract whatsoever, everything else but. And
Okay.
then we divided it into 4 bowls,
Uh-huh.
and then we put a tablespoon, it actually has a tablespoon of each of the extracts in it, and then we mixed it real good. We let it set a couple minutes before we rolled it,
Yeah.
so that way the flavor could, impede. Because I think if you put it in, the flavor doesn't pop right off.
No.
We give it time for the sugars and stuff to kind of mingle a little bit, and then we roll them into balls, and then.
And then you made them. What kind of cookies are these?
Okay, these are my vanilla bean sugar cookies,
Okay.
and I use them to test the vanilla. These are they're like vanilla wafers.
Mhm.
The kids say they were always like
vanilla wafers.
but they're wonderful, and it's just butter,
Yeah. So simple cookie recipe.
Simple. I actually posted it a while back because it's a great way to test the cookies.
Okay. So we get to test them.
You get to test. You
And
can
you
break
know
them
the
in
answers.
half. You can cut them. You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
So this is 1 tablespoon
Of-
of vanilla in
And-
each little one. And really, do you ever put 1 teaspoon of vanilla in it?
Well, the recipe that I found many, many moons ago said 1 teaspoon, and I looked at this and thought,
Never. You
no
love
way.
vanilla.
I don't even measure.
So you guys are still talking. I'm just going to go ahead and have some cookies.
I'm
'cause,
gonna try one.
You know, all I saw were those
Wait,
cookies. I haven't
which
heard a
one?
thing that you've said in the last 10 minutes.
Did
I'm
you do
just
this
staring
one?
at the cookies.
Okay,
Yes,
because I'm
that's
going to
the
do
one
the
that I did.
same one that you're doing.
Okay.
So we can talk here. It's just like Paul. Go straight for the food.
Straight for the food. Mm.
Wait until the after. It's
Mhm.
after they're in. You move them around.
So it's a really sweet vanilla cookie. A vanilla wafer is a good description. I'm getting kind of hints of like,
Oh, it is the after.
it's the after
It's the
that
after.
sits on your palate.
Mhm.
And then
When you
there's,
first bite it does, because Brody says it all tastes the same. You gotta you're testing
Huh?
for the flavor. You're
so
not
where
just
this is
eating.
my first one, I don't have anything to compare it to, but what I'm tasting on this one is just sort of creamy traditional vanilla.
Creamy.
Vanilla.
That's what I'm tasting.
That's
So
what I'm
I don't
tasting.
know, we won't give it away yet.
Okay.
Let me taste one more, and then when we compare the two, we'll
Oh,
be able to see.
that is so creamy.
I'm almost here. I'm gonna rinse the palate here, because I don't want.
Oh, I
That's
better
a
do
good
that.
idea.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I
We
feel
take-
bad we're eating in front of you.
We take our cookie tasting very, very seriously here. Rinsing the palate.
I love how they're having their own conversation
Mhm.
here, you guys.
Yes.
Well, I like that one.
Ooh,
Oh, did you have this one?
I did.
I had a big bite, sorry.
So that one has, it's more of a, oh, there's a little tang. I got a little bit of a sharp kind of a tang at the very end. There's definitely a difference. So this one seems
This is more of a plain ordinary vanilla.
plain ordinary vanilla. Very good.
This has a sweet
It had like a kick.
kick. Yeah,
To me
something
it
similar.
did.
This one's good.
That's very good. So I'm looking for like, because I know that the Sumatras are in there. So I'm like digging for the ones with the chocolate.
Let's see. Let's try this one.
Mm-hmm. Oh my heavens. So we're just gonna stop the video now. We'll come back in like an hour. Because we're just gonna eat cookies here. Oh, I better do that one next. Thank you.
I like that one too. This one's good from the beginning.
Oh, they're all good. That's the problem.
Yeah, but you taste the vanilla from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Okay. If I was a betting man, and we don't know any of this, and I'm probably gonna get it wrong, but this one seems a little darker, and this one it seemed like a hint of kind of a zesty fruit, but again, every palate's different, so it'll be very interesting to see if I'm close or not.
There's
But the
one more.
there's one more.
What did you say? That one?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And then we'll see. Which one is it? I like that one. I like them all.
I like them all. So they're different. There's no
I like
question
them
that there's a difference. This one seems really complex. Like I really like number 3. So I'm not quite sure what it is. This one seemed maybe the fruitiest of them all, but I could be wrong. I was looking for the peach, and I don't know if the peach came out of that one.
I like this one.
So I'm trying to find the peach in it. So they're all different, but how they're different, it's close.
I'm wondering if that's Ugandan there.
Okay, let's do the big reveal here. Let's see. We're gonna see which is which.
This one is the Mexican Mad Mix.
That's
the
That's
Mexican.
why the deep.
That's where the
the
D
flavor.
came from. That was the Mexican Madagascar.
That
Okay,
was
the
the
very
flavor.
first one here,
This one here
or I'm curious.
is the Ecuadorian.
That's the
and the peach.
Ecuadorian in
That
the
was my
peach.
favorite.
That one was like, I got the creamy on that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was Madagascar.
Yeah, no kidding.
No,
That's
it's
the
creamy.
Ecuadorian.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. Now this one here
Mm-hmm.
is a Ugandan.
That's the Ugandan. Okay. That one had a little bit of the fruit, like a zestiness, right?
Mhm.
What's
And then
everyone
this one
saying?
is the
Nancy's like,
Sumatra.
quit teasing us with these cookies.
And this is the Sumatra. Okay.
Yay, Nancy's with us!
Nancy! Hi, Nancy! We love that you're here. Those are, okay, so the point, they're all different.
They are different.
There's a different taste with every single one of them. So now you take the concept of how each vanilla is different, and now all the different applications, because we don't just use them in cookies.
No, you don't. And see, I usually use the sugars. I have sugars that match all the beans.
Okay.
But with this one, I use plain sugar because I wanted the vanilla to pop.
Extra
But you can
pop.
enhance your flavors when you use your sugars that match your.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know. It's
So if
like
you're using
where
a
you stop
Ugandan
the-
extract, you can put in your
you can put
Ugandan
Ugandan
sugars.
sugar and it gives you a really extra pop. Yeah,
That's-
there's a lot.
So first of all, every single one of those cookies is amazing
They're
because
good.
Starlette made them. They're very, very good. They are like Nella wafers, but they all had a different taste. That
And
sits
it's,
on the
they're
palate.
nice to teach
Yeah.
when you want something that's just basic plain, because that's basically what it is.
Mhm.
These kind of make your vanilla kind of stand out just a little bit.
Oh my heavens.
Because they don't have anything else.
Well,
Absolutely.
they would go with just about anything, right?
Yeah,
You could
exactly.
have this with tea or coffee or just a little snack at
Banana
night.
cream
Or
marshmallows.
banana cream marshmallows, of course.
Vanilla wafers, isn't that what's on
Yeah.
banana pudding?
I love it. That is awesome.
That would be so
Yeah,
wonderful.
actually, yep.
So that's it. So why are we showing you this? One, the difference in vanillas. Two, Starlette made cookies, and we are going to take time and eat cookies because
Eat
they're
cookies.
absolutely wonderful.
They were
But
wonderful.
three, we hope that all these parties that we have, they give you ideas like invite the ladies over. Invite
Absolutely.
your friends over, invite family over,
I do.
have the grandkids over, and there's a reason now. Like you line your grandkids up and say, I want to do taste testing on cookies and tell me what you all think.
Yep.
It's so much fun. And then
It's so much fun.
It
it
is. And the
teaches-
girls come over, and it's funny because they come over I don't drink, so I don't really drink. I don't eat this raw.
Uh-huh.
But they like to drink it in the cream and stuff. They're
Yeah.
giggling by the time they leave. But yeah, it's kind of funny to watch them. But yeah.
But it also teaches kids how your tastes work. Like
Mhm.
food is really complicated.
Well, yeah, because they just bite it. That's
Right.
what Brody was saying. You know, why do they all taste the same? Take time and
Take time.
taste it.
Savor.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
Don't just eat
Tell your
savor.
brain that, you know, hey, this is
There's-
vanilla and
There's something here more complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to have the kids over, grandkids, friends, family, have a cookie taste testing with your different extracts and
There
see
you
what
go.
they say. That's awesome. Thank you, Starlette. So,
And then make a new extract while you're all together.
and definitely make a new extract.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
absolutely. Every time somebody comes, that's why I have all the bottles.
There you go.
I make them make extract. Like, hey, let's go down to vanilla
They
ring.
know what they're gonna do when they come to Starlette.
Yeah.
That is so
I
funny.
love
That is
it.
pretty funny. I spread the beans.
You spread the beans.
I spread the beans.
The bean love.
Yes.
Okay, so we wanted to close out today because we are running out of time. We only have about 11, 12 minutes left. But we want to talk about smoked vanilla beans, smoked vanilla bean sugar, and smoked vanilla bean extract. Because when we were in Starlette's room, she took us to like her favorite corner, and it was all smoked. And so, Starlette, if you could, we don't have any content yet about smoked.
We don't.
talk about it a lot in our group. So I'm going to kind of, at the very beginning with smoked, let's talk about smoked vanilla beans, how it works. So I get my vanilla beans, I open up the pouch.
Mm-hmm.
Are these brand new vanilla beans?
They're
or
brand new vanilla
they're
beans.
used, they're brand new.
They're brand new. When I make my sugars, I make them with fresh beans.
It's always fresh
It's
beans.
always fresh. Now I'll grind them. I don't ever take my beans out of my bottles.
Once they're in there, they're
Once they're in there, they're in there.
Yeah.
I don't do anything with it. The vanilla's mine, so when it gets down a little bit, I'll pop it up and put it on a little second extract sticker on it. But I never take my beans out of my bottle. That being said, all my beans are fresh that go in, like the sugars and stuff.
Perfect.
So, and I think they're a little bit more flavorful.
I think so too. So for someone that wants to smoke their beans, which
Mhm.
sounds funny when I say that, we should
I have a
clarify.
little smoker.
For someone who wants to put
I
their
know,
beans
and
on a
everybody
smoker,
wants to put their
we
beans.
do not recommend smoking your beans. But if you want to put them on a smoker, so I receive the beans, I take them out of the pouch, and I just lay them on the grill.
You can
How
put
do
them
you
in
do
the
it?
grill. Now, I've done them on the grill.
Okay.
The grill's big. You don't
And
always
this is like
want
a
to open
Traeger
it.
kind of like a
Yep,
smoker,
it's a regular grill.
hickory wood.
What I found,
Oh, I can smell those.
Oh my gosh. So we didn't know those were in there. This is brand new. This is you
this
just
is
saw
my smoker.
Oh my.
This is my stovetop
A
smoker.
stovetop
And I
smoker.
put them on here, and
Okay.
then I put them. You can take
I'm
them
going
up
to
there
show
and
this. We
show.
have to do a close up.
Wow.
I said this. I wish there was like a smell
I
thing
know
through
it.
the phone.
I know it.
So this is your smoker.
That's my smoker.
And so it just slides open like that. And
then-
inside are all the beans. They're kind of at the bottom because I've tipped it. You can kind of see them. They were laid out nicely when she showed them to us. So this just sits on your
It
stovetop.
sits on my stovetop, and I put a piece of granite on top to keep it smoking a little bit.
Oh
And
my
then I smoke
gosh.
it on low, and I use wood. I think this time I had some plum from the plum tree out there that I threw in. You
So
see the little
really
wood.
quick, you said that quickly. I'm going to slow you down because I think it's important. So you're doing it indoors.
Indoors.
You have a lid on it. You
Mhm.
put it on the stovetop.
Put it on
It
the stove.
smokes. You put granite
I have a
top of
slab
the
of
lid
granite
to
that I
keep
put
the
on.
smoke inside.
Mhm.
That way your kitchen's not filled
Yeah.
with smoke.
Yep. So
Okay.
I put the granite on top, and
Okay.
it just holds it tight.
And it just
down
holds
on
it
it.
tight.
It's not an expensive one because you don't
No.
need to buy expensive.
No, you
You
don't
know,
need it.
you make it
You
work.
don't need it.
Exactly, you make
Right.
it work. And I do them a lot, so I don't want to be lighting up a big grill.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just, it has. I use wood from the trees, our fruit trees,
No
and then
kidding.
we chip the wood.
And what kind of fruit trees?
This
for
one here
example?
had plum and cherry.
Plum and cherry wood.
out there, and a little bit of oak.
Smoking underneath
Yeah.
and a little oak.
And then you just lay them on there, and I smoke it about, 35 minutes.
35
And
minutes.
then I let it sit in the pan until it cools.
Okay.
So that way the smoke can cool down with it.
Oh my
Because some of the
gosh.
oils, you can see how they
Yeah.
pop up, and they're brittle, and they're beautiful,
Oh my.
and they
gosh.
smell awesome.
Wow.
Smell that one.
I mean,
What
What
these,
kinds of beans are these?
Hungry.
these were Indian, these are the rest of the Indian.
These are the rest of the Malabars.
Yeah, yep, whoops, sorry.
These are the Malabar. Wow.
I think the Malabars have a deep flavor, and
They do.
they're more of a savory bean. And of course, I smoke them all. I think this one is the best as far as smoking goes.
Uh huh.
And that even you can smell it in the sugar.
What do you use your sugar with?
I use the sugar and barbecue sauce. I use it in coffee cakes. I make coffee cakes. I sell at
Really?
yes, I sell them at the farmer's market. I haven't done it this year, but I do coffee cakes. I do 16 different flavors of coffee cakes. And
Oh my gosh.
once a month, I send them over to the fire hall because they do such a great job. So I send them over for their meeting.
Oh my
But I
goodness.
use the sugar in the topping, and it gives it a whole different flavor depending on which apple. Like the last one was an apple, so it was like a smoked flavor on the apple with it. So I use it.
This is an
Sauce.
entirely new, like, vanilla bean application.
Doesn't it
So
smell-
it totally transforms it.
It's just
It's still sweet.
It's
Sweet.
got my mouth.
Yeah, it makes your mouth water, but it's like sweet and savory
Yeah, it
now
does,
all
yeah.
in one.
Yep, and it's for barbecue sauce. It's wonderful,
Oh.
and that's the
Wow.
reason, since we're big smokers, that I wanted to try to play around with the smoking beans. Now, when I
Right.
put them out on the smoker, it smokes too hot.
Uh-huh.
So this was perfect because you don't want to squeeze all the
Right.
oils out of them. You just wanted to smoke them on a low temperature,
Uh-huh.
just enough for the wood to smoke.
Okay.
You know,
For
so-
about 30 minutes. And
Mhm,
so then
that's
to put
30
them in the
minutes.
sugar, you
And then I just
grind them
I ground the last ones. I ground.
in like a food processor,
And
like
I
a
have
coffee bean grinder, or a, what do you use? Oh,
Well,
all the way
I have-
around there.
It
Did I help
depends
you?
on what day.
It-
I have a commercial grinder that I use
Okay.
for when I do my powdered sugars,
Uh-huh.
because then I can whiz it up and I don't have to worry. This is the best. I love these.
Yeah.
I mean, it has a cup that removes. It has 2 cups, so you can see I do a lot
Oh,
of vanilla
there you
beans.
go. Yeah,
But
vanilla
I
beans.
grind it up in these and then I
Okay.
stick them in the beans.
No
But
kidding.
and since I use this mostly in the baking,
Uh-huh.
then it doesn't matter having a little bit of beans in it because it just gives it a good flavor when you bite into something. You get the little.
Can I smell the vanilla sugar?
Oh, you'll love it.
Oh.
Imagine that in your barbecue sauce.
Oh my gosh. So again, if you barbecue sauces, protein glazes,
Oh yeah, anything
Um,
that you want, and even your sweet cookies.
cookies.
It's just give it a pop of
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
in it. So yeah.
Because that smoky flavor, it's kind of it's reminiscent of dark chocolate
Mhm.
or
Oh
mocha.
yeah.
So
Oh,
it's not like smoky like these taste burnt. It's just the opposite.
It's just the
It's
smoke.
smoky that
Yeah.
it tastes like
And
a
the
dark
vanilla.
chocolate or
With
rich.
chocolate, that would
Yeah.
be
Wouldn't that be
lovely.
wonderful? So yeah, so that's just, I know a lot of people ask when I say, yeah, I was smoking beans, because I did a couple posts on them, and they're like, you're smoking beans. I know you do a lot, but you're over there smoking your beans. Yes, I do.
Smoking beans. I love it. Well, what else? You've got the extract.
I got
as well.
the
Let me
extract.
smell the extract that you have that's
This
smoky.
is also the India beans.
Okay. You really like smoking the.
The Indian, yeah,
The Indian.
there's just something about these beans that,
Oh, that
look
is
at
so
the richness
rich.
in that. You can't,
Right.
and that has been, I did that one 317.
Oh, just barely.
Yeah.
So this is only a.
That's-
Oh my.
Yeah, look how dark it is.
And not heated, not, this is
I
not
never
sous
eat my
vide,
vanilla.
this is not a,
I
let me
don't
hold
know.
this up, so this is like
Yeah.
a 3-month-old
So
extract?
these are your smoked beans.
Look at
And
that, it's
what
like
did you put
3
in it?
months old.
I think that one's in the 420 extract.
And this is the Malabar Indian.
I think this one is in, yeah, it's in,
Rum.
no, it's the 420 extract of Colorado,
The
Okay.
Colorado one.
190,
Yeah,
and this, and
Wow.
water, just, you know.
Mhm.
that's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh my,
Yeah.
you almost want to
even
drink
with the,
it, so like rich, don't
Oh,
you? I mean,
dear.
holy
well,
cow.
yeah, well, I have,
Well, we gotta drive
also,
tonight, and
the Papua New Guinea mint, this
Uh-huh.
is another good one too.
what is this one?
This one's the Papua New Guinea, it's a little sweeter than the Malabar.
Okay, made the same way that you
Made it
also
the same
smoked?
way. You might not be able to smell because the opening's small. I find when the opening's small, you can't smell it as good.
No, when you swirl it around though, they come right out. Sorry, I know
But
you
it's a
wanna
little,
try.
it's a little
Yeah.
sweeter. I think it's a little sweeter.
Very
than
much
these.
so.
It
Yeah.
is. You can
Yeah.
totally tell.
Yeah.
This-
Yeah.
Where these are
I
more
can-
of your savory.
So I would
Savory.
use these in like a barbecue sauce, like you mentioned, or a
Coffee
protein or
cakes,
coffee
pound
cakes.
cake.
But
Put
these,
chocolate.
these I would
Chocolate.
use.
Chocolates.
But this
chocolate.
one's going to be a much sweeter application.
Yeah.
This might be, you know, the
More,
dark
more
chocolate
of your,
fudge.
where you want something else to pop
Oh.
instead,
Gee,
but you
Yeah.
want to have a hint of where you want this one more dominant.
they are just
Pretty
amazing.
good. Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Well, let's see. Are there any questions? Everybody just loves you, Starlette. That's all we're seeing on this. Yes.
I love
that's a
everybody
little bit
too.
ago.
You're such an inspiration.
Where did you get
You
your
keep
smoke?
me young.
Where did you get you keep us young?
Keep me young.
Where did you get your smoker?
I bought it online one night at 2:30 in the morning.
2:30 in the morning.
I said,
Of course.
I tried smoking beans and they burned. I said, there's got to be a better way. So, yeah, so it's a Cameron. I think it is. It was like $25
I
But
love
it
it.
says Cameron on
on
the
the
top.
front. Any of them will do. You don't need to go expensive. You know, if it don't work for you, put a piece of granite on it.
That-
You know, I do notice that when we were talking about you never took your beans out and that you marked them that they were second
have a-
generation. How do you mark them?
I just have a little sticker that I put on the outside of the bottle that
So
says
you know
second
that they're
extraction, so I
second.
know that
Okay.
they soak it again.
That's good to do. Just
Because,
have
you know,
one.
I use a lot of vanilla, so, you know, when it goes down,
There's
I
just
just-
a
yeah,
little
I just-
sticker you put on so you know
Yeah.
this is the second time around.
and a lot of times I'll just pour off a bottle of the favorites and put it up in my extract,
Yeah.
and then, you know, fill it back up.
Yep.
I think sometimes these organizational tips that you have with all of this is very helpful.
Well, you know, I do a lot of vanilla.
yes,
Yeah.
You
you
gotta
do.
really, everybody's like, well, journals. A journal's fine if you only have 24 bottles. It gets overwhelming, and
Yeah.
you use a lot of paper.
Yeah.
So I write on the labels. That's the best. My tip is to write on your labels.
Yeah. Have
That way
labels
you
that are big
have
enough.
everything right there. You don't have to fumble through and try to find information. Everything is on your label.
Right
Flip
there.
your label up. I have a labeling system that if I can flip them up, they don't have enough beans in it. If you flip it up, it'll tell you. Once it has enough beans in it, then I take my label on. So I have a system. I have to have a system because
Yeah.
a lot of
You have a
vanilla.
lot.
Yes, you do.
A lot of
So
vanilla.
does an hour go by so fast?
It does go by
This
fast.
goes by so fast. So here's what I can promise you is with Starlette's permission, we are definitely going to do another show with Starlette. We're going to find a way, and because this is we're just getting started. We're just scratching the surface. In fact, I'm going to make good on my promise in about 5 minutes because we're going to go ahead and end the show here in just a second, and then stay tuned. We're going to have an encore presentation where we're going to do a quick tour of Starlette's Vanilla Room, and let's talk down there more about organization. We'll show them your labels, we'll show them the beans that you have hanging, we'll show everything that you've done so you can get more beans right there. Oh, jeez. I mean, just as like a decoration.
This
There's
is
beans
my
everywhere.
bouquet. I'm going to send this to everybody that has a bad day. I'm going to take a picture of this and I'm going to send this to you.
Vanilla
This
bean
is
bouquet.
the sweetest smelling bouquet
Oh,
you
man.
can find.
Oh,
And it doesn't die.
No. And then when I boil potatoes or I'm cooking in here,
uh-huh.
this fragrance just pops. So
It
yeah,
just
that's
pops.
my bouquet.
Oh, I love
I
it.
even got bees on them because I just love it.
So we're going to have an encore show. So we're going to end this first segment. Sit tight. We'll be live here in like another 5 minutes or so. We'll just kind of take everything down, go downstairs, and let Starlette give us a tour. So, but to end this segment, just Starlette, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad you guys came.
Yeah.
I just had to show off my vanilla.
Well,
I was like, I sit down there and think nobody ever sees this. I'm afraid to show anybody here. They'll think, this girl's a nut.
We don't think
But
that.
I said, no, I got people here that can actually look at this and say, wow.
Yeah, we are.
Not like,
we-
oh, yeah.
Thank you for
We
making
are
us feel at
amazed.
home here, though.
I'm glad you guys came out.
We pulled up and Starlette, Don, Brody, they were waiting for us in the front yard, and we got the nicest greeting and reception. And Don is just as charming as
Oh,
you
yeah,
are.
he is.
Yeah.
Well, he's not about me, but he's a charmer.
He is.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
really is. So we
Yeah.
enjoyed getting to know him, and it's just this beautiful home in the middle of beautiful country, and we got to be here. So we feel really fortunate. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad you
Thanks
came.
for bringing us in.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
And we
Thank
will
you.
definitely do this again. More to come from Starlette's Vanilla Room here in just a few minutes. And then more to come on our group expert program for the group experts that will be retiring going into September. We'll have more posts soon about some new programs that we've got to give more opportunities to share and to get more people in front of the camera.
And, yeah, absolutely.
We're going to do this a lot more often. This has always been our goals. We want to get everyone together. COVID kept us away, but we want to meet everyone in person. And so I hope by this time next year we've met lots and lots and lots of people.
It's so fun.
And everybody in the group will
It
be
is.
able to see lots and lots of people through our group. And
What's
so,
better, you can relate better knowing who the other person is.
yeah,
You know.
absolutely.
Yep.
So for the people that are joining us, we asked this on the last one as well. Can you give a big love for Starlette? This is our way of giving Starlette a
I
hand.
need to give her a
Thank you.
real love.
Yes, we get to give her a hug because we're here, but we see in real time when the
All
loves
the
start
loves
popping
coming.
up, and so we're getting lots of thank yous. But that's our way of giving a virtual look at all
Thank
this.
you.
Look
I
at
love
Oh, my
it.
heavens.
You cry.
Look
Thank
at
you.
this. I mean, there's still just that's
I
everyone.
love all you two.
Look, ain't that
love you guys.
that's
I love
that's-
everybody. I really do.
Look at that. They
And
just
she
love
does.
you. Yep. They
I
all
wish I
do.
could have had everybody here.
Yep.
Oh boy, that would have been
That
fun.
Wouldn't
would've
that be
been
fun?
fun.
We
That
need to
would've
find
been
a way to
fun.
make
We
that
need
happen.
to, yeah, you know what? Maybe that should be a goal, the Nebraska people. Heck,
Yeah.
I would drive for some place like this, even we made it meet in the middle.
We're going to find a way to do that. So
We'll find a way.
you're going to meet a lot more people virtually, hopefully together. There's some exciting news to come, so we'll keep you posted on that. Stay tuned, 5-10 minutes. We're going to be live in Starlette's Vanilla Room for an encore presentation. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you.
We've learned a lot. We'll see you again next time. I'm going to go
Bye-bye
out here
now.
and turn it off.